Silver Cloud.
Late, but we are here, ladies and gentlemen, live at E3 2021 with Devious Entertainment, straight from St. Petersburg, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an edition of Geek Culture Congress. We are a part of Checkpoint XP, which is Beasley Media Group's esports source for video games and more. And I want to introduce you to one of my co-hosts, Mr. Rich Ortiz. How you doing, sir?
What's up, everybody? E3, let's go!
Yes, let's go. We're lit right now with the whole team of Devious Entertainment. Billy Young, sir, we know you, but please introduce the rest of your team that is with you here on the live.
So, of course, you know me. I've had a couple times in the studio with you guys.
Yes.
Gonna go ahead and introduce around the table. So here to my right is actually my operations manager and one of the lead developers on a lot of the games we're working on. This is Andrea.
Yep. I've been a few times to the radio station. It's good to see you again.
Yes, it's good to see you guys.
The group again.
We got to my left here, we have Andreas. He's actually our business development manager, as well as also a developer on some of the games we're working on.
Good to be here. Excited.
He's a man of simple words.
Welcome. That's fine. The simpler it is, the better broadcast will be.
Jen. So Jen actually has a special role. So back during COVID 2020, we actually subsidized our company, and we have actually 2 game studios that are under DVSI's umbrella. And she is actually the leader of one of those studios known as Before the Storm, which actually we will be talking a little bit about today with you guys, because the game we got to show you guys is something that's coming from their studio. So this is Jen.
Yeah,
excellent.
Really excited to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much.
I feel like Jen needs more of an introduction. She's an actor. She's a producer. She name everything that you do, Jen.
Come on, Jen. What do you do?
Come on, Jen.
Come on, you're the Swiss Army knife. You have to let them know.
You got a list of titles. Let's get through them all.
List them all.
So as far as being the executive director of Before the Storm, of course, I do oversee the many projects that we have going on, making sure everything is on time, everyone's communicating with who they need to be with, and other facets like that. I also create a lot of art for things that we do, whether that is album artwork, things that are used directly in the games, or just kind of whatever is needed at the moment. Also hands-on in the engine as well, so say if you happen to see like a lamp or something just walking around one of our games, there's a good chance it might have been placed by me, as well as just a myriad of other things as well. But yeah, and of course, as you mentioned, I am an actor as well, so I do play the lead role of our horror game that's coming out, which is Awoken.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I want to talk about that, because you guys actually brought the alpha and the beta to us here multiple times here on the show before Rich's time here. So I don't know if you guys want to show some of that yet or not, but let's talk more about it as far as the development is concerned. It's been on Steam right now, the actual like a pre-release, right? That's been sitting on stream for a while.
Yes, that's correct. It is currently in early access. So if you were to go to our Steam page, it is called Awoken, Chapter 1 of Reverie. You will find it there available for purchase, so that way you can go ahead and hop in and see everything that we have to offer really before its full release. And the cool thing that we're doing with it is that actually the early release of the game has a completely separate story than what the main game will offer. So if you hop in now, you will actually get this story that's going on in the early access, as well as the full story that happens, which is where I play a larger role. That's later this year. But yeah, very exciting.
Excellent. And how is the response going so far as the Steam response there?
It's like we said earlier, it's early access. So obviously there's going to be a few hitches here and there with things that we're currently working on and things that we need to find out that we need to work on. So we've had good responses and we've had other responses. We just like to keep on going and keep on working until we hit the final product. But it always gives us motivation to hear responses back and feedback.
Excellent. So talking more about getting to the final release of Awoken, what date are we looking at for a final release of that? So
that's actually a cool question, because we actually dropped that during our showcase on Saturday.
Excellent.
So everybody has the ability to play Awoken and actually play as Jen on November 1st of this year. That is when the full version of Awoken will go live, and everybody will get to experience part 1 of Reverie.
Is that going to be multi-platform or just right now Steam?
Multi-platform. It'll be on Steam. It'll be on Xbox, PlayStation, as well as we are working kind of diligently to get it on the Nintendo Switch as well.
Nice.
Excellent. Wow, that's going to be dope. So talk now. You already talked about Awoken. You already talked about the release on November. Let's talk about, you're already working on the sequel to Awoken, this is all a part of the Reverie storyline. And this sequel is interesting because it's a completely different kind of genre than what the first chapter is. Is this like a new thing for you guys? I mean, honestly, I haven't seen anything like this before. Like, I haven't seen like a fighting game then become a shooter game later. You know what I mean?
So originally, as we discussed the first time we had our moment with you, Reverie used to be one game. And when we brought it to the studio the first time to talk about it, it was still one game. It didn't actually transition into what's going to actually be a trilogy. Now it's kind of a trilogy because we kind of went back to, the drawing board, and we were just like, well, we created this really elaborate story that has a lot of factual things in it, as well as a lot of folklore that's involved with it. We're working with a couple people who are writers. One of them was actually part of our showcase. His name's Mark Muncie. He's known for doing some books that are related to like the haunting things in Florida and stuff. But kind of went back to the drawing board. It was like, well, for the vision of what Reverie is, we can make this into something where we can work on smaller portions of it and then kind of expand it out. So part 1 of Reverie is Awoken. I call the trilogy itself a trilogy of perception. Okay. So Awoken is kind of a perception of reality. And the one that you're talking about now is Doomsday, which we showed a lovely trailer. It's actually part of our booth. You can go see screenshots now of it and everything. And yesterday we actually showed a little bit of a walkthrough to show people that what you saw in the trailer is really what you can actually expect from the game as it relates to the graphics quality. We're utilizing a texturing technique known as photogrammetry, which is actually really cool because for the first time ever, we actually heard another company say that, and that was actually Playground Games yesterday when they announced Forza Horizon 5. So it's cool to know that we're using a technology that a lot of companies are starting to use now, but we're willing to tell you about it right now and be like, yeah, we're using photogrammetry. So it's really, really unique technology allowing us to create something. But as far as what you can expect from Doomsday, it is a totally different game. It is a true-to-life survival game where I'll let Andrea go into a little bit more detail about what you could kind of expect as it relates to the gameplay.
So the gameplay, as it is, you have an option to choose from 6 different characters. Each of those characters have different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different cultures, and different history as far as their career path that they chose. It is set into a post-apocalyptic world setting. So there are going to be roughly 200 survivors in the entire world, but your small little group is only going to be about 6 playable characters. And you have the option when you first start the game to choose one of these characters. Now, your actions, you're going to have a skill, you're going to have a dialogue tree that you can choose from when interacting with each of them. So your actions, your voice lines that you choose to communicate with these other players will determine the outcome of the game. So it has what's currently known as a butterfly effect. Okay. So when let's say you choose to be a jerk to some characters, but you choose to be best buddies with another character, well, that character you're a jerk to can maybe sabotage you or just decide to kill you when you're asleep.
They'll remember that decision in the future.
Okay. Very cool, very cool. I want to introduce, get my co-host in on the show. Shouts out to Mr. Tarek Lewis. Thank you for joining us, sir. You have any questions for the Devious Entertainment team?
I like that last comment, like being a jerk to someone can come back to haunt you. It's like a post-apocalyptic corporate America. I like that.
Very cool, very cool. I'll also introduce
I did want to talk before how she's the Swiss Army knife. She does a little bit of everything. What do you like more? Do you like acting in the games more, or do you like the behind the scenes working on it?
That's a tough question, honestly, because I really do actually love both. They're two different hats, if you will. With, I don't know, being more hands-on behind the development of the game, because so for one, anyone who knows me will vouch I'm a huge baby when it comes to scary games.
Yes.
It is true, but there's something different about being the one doing the scares.
That's what took me so long to actually try AWOKEN. And then I started having PC problems. So we won't
It's
get into
definitely
that.
a niche type of game. Like horror is not for everybody. I personally like horror. Turning out the lights and just having that scare factor, just my heart beating, and then someone opening the door behind me, and I lose it. It's so much fun to me.
I need a shower.
I love working on it and being a part of it and just helping out wherever I can.
Tara, go ahead and finish your thought.
That I love. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't answer the question. I think you weren't quite done yet. Yeah.
Yeah, just basically, I do love working behind the scenes. It is a different flavor, if you will, of the game design process. But I also do love just embodying the role of Riley, just kind of being able to tell her story as well. This is my first actual acting role as well, so it's also been a learning experience, which honestly, it's just been a lot of fun, and I really can't wait to kind of have the full release for later this year as well, just so that way everybody can truly learn what all is going on at this really crazy facility.
That's great. That's great. I'm excited. Tara, go ahead and finish your thought, your question.
Yeah, I guess my question was with the different characters, because I think you said there's 6 playable characters, correct?
Sorry?
6 playable characters.
Playable
There's 6
right?
playable characters.
Oh yeah, that would be for Doomsday, which is the second chapter.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So if the interactions were like, hey, if you're a jerk to somebody, it come back to haunt you later. Was that very based on character, or is that just how is that determined? Like, how does that technology work? Like this, choose your own adventure type style.
So that one, as what we're going to do is we have a few different systems we're going to use to implement that system into our game. We are currently using the Unity engine for that. So when as you're playing the game, whenever you want to communicate with someone, whether it's planning you have your base camp that you have set up, and then if you need to go get supplies, like some games where you have your camp set up, and then let's say you have a mission where you have to go get supplies, or you have to go hunt something for survival, like whether it's an animal or just collecting things. You can choose who you want to go on these missions with. And every time you interact with someone, you'll have different dialogue options. You can choose a passive-aggressive route, just to be an entire jerk route, or you can choose to be friendly and compassionate. So this game's going to be like a judge of, it's a morality system. And it's going to be, one of the goals is to be an eye-opener for the world. So if someone is judgmental or they live off of stereotypes, if they're a jerk to someone just because of their ethnicity or their culture or their background, then we hope this will be an eye-opener to help change their perspective on the world and on life, to have a more open mind, to be more embracing and welcoming for different cultures and everything, cultures, languages.
So, Andrea, why don't you tell them for the first time, what do we plan to do with motion capture?
So something I'm personally excited about is... Here we go. So I spent a few years learning American Sign Language, and I got involved heavily into deaf culture, into the deaf community, just in the deaf world and as a whole. And during this time, I wanted to help facilitate a better communication route between the hearing community and the deaf community. And I was wondering how I could do this. I don't necessarily want to be a licensed interpreter on stages or at events like baseball games or in different places. So I'm like, well, how could I go about to help the world see American Sign Language and the deaf community in a better light? Years later, fast forward, we have this video game that we are going to use motion caption for. So we will have full American Sign Language in the game, and we will have a character. One of these 6 playable characters is going to be deaf, and they will have a significant other who is hearing, but that person also knows American Sign Language, and they will be kind of the translator for the game. So players who know American Sign Language will kind of have kind of a way in because like they'll know automatically what the deaf character is saying as well as the translator. But we will have subtitles for those who don't know American Sign Language. But I'm hoping that my goal is to have the hearing community be more welcoming and more understanding of deaf culture and the deaf community. And this is going to be a way to honor that community, to honor the deaf culture and my deaf friends and my instructors. And few methods we're going to do is to make sure American Sign Language is represented correctly, because this game is going to be very diverse, and we want to make sure that we represent each of these cultures and communities and languages in the light that they need to be seen in, that the world needs to recognize them in, because there's a lot of problems in this world currently, and we're hoping that Doomsday will be a way that can rectify that. And
I think that's great. I think it's great that you're including that. I think it's a great little twist. Yeah, you know, to what happens in a doomsday scenario when you have to communicate sign language to somebody. You know what I mean?
We plan to represent every race, every culture, every religion, everything that's out there with this game the correct way. We plan to make sure that everybody who experiences this game, you are experiencing real to life what this, like something like this could do. And at the end of the day, it's going to basically question you with how do you handle that? How do you essentially pick up the ball and run with it? Like, do you actually become a compassionate person who is willing to work with people who have different skin colors or different, you know, religious backgrounds and stuff? Or are you a person where it's just like, no, you're going to be, you know, an evil person who's going to want to push away and give pushback for this and not want to include, you know, this little group that you're in? Because every choice you make in this game and everything that you do is going to heavily rely on what happens. What are the outcomes that could come from playing this game? And the best thing about it is you got to play it to really understand how it also connects to Awoken, or even the third game in the trilogy. And even the third game in the trilogy, when we get to that at a later date, there are things about it where it's like, to really get the full experience of what, you know, I kind of created with Reverie, you have to play all three games to really understand what its story arc is and what it references as a whole. And that's something that I think is really special with what this is, because it's kind of like you said, to go from a horror game to something completely different, you know, where it's just like, you know, not only is this game heavily reliant on choices that you make and stuff, but it also kind of gives you an aspect of where you have to eat, you have to drink. You can die from starvation, you can die from thirst, you know, you have to scavenge. So it's something where it's very special, and it's going to be exciting to see exactly how people pick these games up and actually get this story. And it'll be really cool to see like their reactions once the entire trilogy is done of this epic tale that we have told you as it relates to Riley's story, to the survivor's story, to the next protagonist that you end up playing as in the third game.
I'm super excited to see it all unfold. Who has called you crazy going from, you know, changing genres like that?
A lot. Like Billy mentioned before, it was originally all one giant storyline, and I've been with Devious for about 6 months now. And when I first met Billy, we were just in a store talking, and he was telling me about like his company and what he's doing, what some of his plans are. And when he brought me on and what I would be doing, and he told me a lot about the games and the storyline. At first, I was like, this seems kind of crazy. But the more like background and moving into it and working with everything, it's like the more you know and the more you experience, you're like, oh, that makes sense because of that. And that makes sense because of that. And your mind just kind of blows up. So it's really great.
Okay, very cool. I want to get my co-host to chime in here. Michaela, you have any questions for Devious Entertainment?
I don't have any questions, but I'm really intrigued by this game, especially the fact that it's escape from the real world, but it's also makes you more self-aware.
Yep.
And I just love what you're explaining here about it's making us more just knowledgeable about other cultures that we were unaware of. You see it a lot in movies. Sometimes it's falsely depicted, but now in games is really going to be revolutionary. So congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
Anti-productivity is asking, does the horror game have the survival aspect to it?
The horror game has kind of a survival aspect to it, but not in the scope of what you can expect from Doomsday.
Right.
What would you say about it, Jen?
Generally speaking, so at the end of the day, yes, you are trying to survive because there are things trying to kill you. But it won't have the same mechanics as far as what you typically think of in a survival game, which is usually eating, drinking, not getting too cold, and other things like that. So it won't have those elements, like mentioned, that you will find in Doomsday. But you will actually have a hiding mechanic, for instance, so that way,
Okay, I like that.
You'll be able to kind of try and find cover until they wander off for you to be able to pursue your search.
And you have the classic, health bar, healing, classic video game tropes on that aspect.
And the flashlight.
And a flashlight.
So
flashlight is a savior.
In the Doomsday, you will be able to engage in some kind of combat if you needed to.
Doomsday, you can expect basically real-to-life combat. If you have a moment and you get a chance on the E3 booth, go check out the screenshots. You can see some different varieties of guns that we have. If you watch our table talk from yesterday, which is available on YouTube or on the E3 booth, you can actually see us walking around, shooting some of the guns off and stuff, showing you the environment. Because like I said, it is photorealistic as it relates to what you can go outside and see outside. We took the time to make sure that we were able to put together a world that is real and believable, that is just as much as like going to the park and looking at all the trees in the park and the ground and the actual textures that you can see. So it's really cool how we have this real to life experience that we're going to be able to deliver to people from a small little company of 40 people.
Excellent. I'm excited. Guys, anybody else have any other questions about Awoken and the upcoming sequel, Doomsday?
I have a question about the third one. He talked about Awoken. He talked about Doomsday.
We're going way in the future, brother.
Yeah, but is the third one going to be a different, another different kind of genre of video game? Without giving too much.
The third one. Let's.
This is good.
I can't give it away. Will it take as much of a leap as Awoken to Doomsday? Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Think of it as a cataclysmic event. That's all I can say.
So it's already post-apocalyptic, and now there's more cataclysmic.
It just gets worse.
Say it again, Derek.
What would be worse than the post-apocalypse?
That's what I'm saying. It's
that's where it goes.
That is the most that we're able to speak on the third title there.
Let's just say this: after you, in all honesty, after you experience all three games, you're literally gonna go, "What? Oh my god!" And it's gonna be worth it. Like you're gonna just look at it, and it's just like he said, it's gonna be a mind blow where it's just like, I did not see this coming. And that's the whole purpose of this game, is to basically hit you with that moment where it's just like, I can't believe this happened. And then you're going to want to go and replay all of them and see if you can find some stuff that maybe you didn't find the first time.
Awesome.
Excellent. We got another question from the Twitch viewers. He says, I don't know if this has been answered before, but did you have a specific platform where you thought the game could be better enjoyed, or was it always multi-platform?
So, I'm not going to lie. I'm an Xbox fan.
Okay.
I'm an Xbox fanboy. I'm
We've
a Windows fanboy. Yeah. I am Microsoft's fanboy. But no, I was always gunning for multi-platform for every one of our games, just because we want to be able to deliver every game that we have. So we showed 7. We showed 7 for E3. We're talking about a few of them here with you guys, but the goal was always to basically put them on any platform that's out there, so that way it has multiple opportunities to reach people and allow people to enjoy it, regardless of if you're on the Nintendo Switch, if you're on the Xbox Series X, or even the Xbox Ones, if you're on a PlayStation 4 or 5, if you're on a PC, if you're on a Mac. We even got some ideas for some cool VR stuff that we have in the works too.
Oh,
Cool.
yeah.
Wow.
So
All right.
if you're on Oculus Rift, if you're on the Oculus Quest, the PlayStation VR, the HTC Vive, we got some cool things going on. But it was always meant to be for every game we have, we were going multi-platform just to give ample amount of opportunities to people to be able to play, so it doesn't alienate anybody from being able to experience the things that we're bringing to the table.
Excellent. So excellent. So the guys that asked for questions already, I'm actually going to give you guys some free keys for Steam for what I want to pivot to, unless anybody else has any other questions.
I just want to make a comment about, you really want to scare people then with if you wanted to make it VR, that would be insane. I'd love it.
So to touch on that, we can talk a little bit about that just a moment. We do have, it's going to be a little series, a little horror series actually, which will put you in VR. Unfortunately, we couldn't put something together for E3 or anything, but it is going to be called the Heritage Series. And it's, from what myself and Jen have been kind of putting together with it and stuff and planning out with it, again, we were unable to actually have something to show for E3 this year and stuff. But from what we were working on and what we're writing out and stuff, it's going to be something that if you play it and you're in the VR world with it, you are going to probably have a mess. That's the best way to put it.
Cool.
That's basically the goal.
Right. So,
good, I love it.
Disclaimer: play in open areas, please.
Yeah.
You don't want to break your TV because, like, oh god.
So let's transition to the real. Oh, go ahead. Let's transition to the real sensation of E3 right now, ladies and gentlemen. What everyone's talking about is the new shooter. It's called Last Shot. Tell me more about it before we turn on the video game playing here.
So Last Shot originally started out as a single paragraph, and with no direction. We kind of sat down, we started discussing things. As you can see here, Last Shot is up now on the screen.
Yeah.
We basically put together this shooter that a lot of people have a lot of fun. Now, a bunch of our team are already in there playing right now. We even have some guests that we've already handed out keys to that are in there playing right now. So what you're looking at right now is the main menu. But we decided, like, we kind of missed the days of old. So for me, it's kind of like a little way to pay homage back to the past. I am a huge fan of Unreal Tournament. I'm a huge fan of Quake.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the old school Doom.
Yeah.
A way that it was fast-paced gameplay. It was something that, you don't see anymore today. You see more or less, you play as a class, you play as, kind of a slow-paced tactical in Call of Duty and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, these games are great, but I miss the past. I miss what was really good about the past. So we kind of sat down and we took that paragraph and we decided, let's just do something that's the best of all the worlds and put them together. So what we're happy with this about is everybody who has played this game within the studio and now even on the outside of the studio from the keys that have been given away is fun. Everybody has been having fun with this. They've been enjoying it. We have 2 servers that are live. We will, throughout development, we will be giving keys out every so often so more and more people can jump in. This game will be free to play. Anybody will have access to play it once it is launched. But you have 2 characters that you're sitting here and you can see on our main menu screen. They're both animated. You are looking at Proxy, who is our female who just took off running, and Artie, who is actually our robot. We decided to put a lot of humor into the game too. None of it, unfortunately, is in right now, but we do actually plan to have like show hosts. So we're actually presenting this to people as a show. Andreas, give us an example of our show hosts and who they are.
So we have a couple show hosts. We have one of them goes by Spectre473, and we also have Skashgar, the Conqueror of Worlds, obviously.
Give us a face, because he's the voice actor for both of them.
I am the voice actor for both.
Nice.
Like I mentioned there, the Spectre, he is going to be the robot, so there's going to be filters and things like that. But the whole idea around it is that Last Shot, or the story behind it, or just generally, is just kind of a game show-esque that follows around like kind of a death game, essentially, where you're either forced to or you participate yourself voluntarily to like show what you got or to have people, shoot, blow up, things like that. But we have Spectre, who's more of the game show-esque and just kind of wacky and just like, welcome to Last Shot, I'm Spectre. or just like Jaskar is just like really deep, and it's just like, I will destroy you, kind of like that.
Okay.
It's like kind of like one-liners, just going along that aspect of it. But it's going to be really fun and a lot of aspects to it. It is a variety online shooter, so we're going to have a bunch of different game modes, things like that. We're paying homage to the olden days with Arena. Then we go into like the objective, more game modes like Capture the Flag, Assault, Deathmatch, stuff like that. And then eventually, in the future, having a Battle Royale of our own.
So right now you can play, if you have access to the game, you can actually play Assault or Deathmatch. Like I said, we have 2 servers that are live. We're still working on some things because we did have a brand new update that went out today, but we had to actually roll it back because unfortunately we had some issues that arose from how we kind of shot our trailers for this game because we actually turned some stuff off that we have to go back and turn back on.
Okay.
But it's super simple, so it's like we should have it updated by the end of today for people who do have access. One of the things that we're very proud of with this is that we are accommodating to all the different tropes that people like in a shooter. So the 2 characters that are fully playable right now, they will be class-oriented. There will be a class system for our characters. Each character will have 3 abilities that you will be able to explore and get to actually enjoy as you play the game. Abilities will be turned off for arena mode, and it will be the classic style of what you could expect from Unreal Tournament or Quake, where it's fast-paced, non-stop action, where you have pickups on the map, you have weapon pickups on the map. When you play the objective modes are kind of more or less revolve around the characters having their own weapons. So if you look at Proxy, for instance, she's got a nice little plasma rifle that she's holding in her hand, whereas Artie actually has a gun that's actually his arm. So he can actually shoot from the gun being attached to his arm. We have a sniper class that we're working on, which is actually going to be the next class that we implement into the game. Her name is actually...
We need them snipers.
She's going to be fun. She's been a lot of fun as far as developing her and stuff, and I think people are going to really enjoy what we have to show with her. But if you want to go ahead, Jen, and start getting us around just to kind of show.
Let's show everyone under the hood. I actually got to run around
with the mouse. If you could go to the options, so we can kind of show people like a couple of the things that we have here.
So right now you're seeing our home screen, being able to go that, and as you see when you go and click one of either of the options, explore maps, options, everything like that, it's going to shift, and we'll have some different animations of the characters walking around. The classic option settings. Going into, display, motion effects, grain effects, things like that. So you're able to customize it for your PC and how you want the game to look, and everything on that aspect there.
You'll also notice a little tiny Easter egg for our character coming up. If you look underneath where it says exit game, you'll see the sniper that Petra will be using. It's a little Easter egg for the future. Yes.
Very cool, very cool.
Yes.
Yeah, but you can see all the separate options that we have there, being able to adjust all the control settings, all the music settings, audio, having invert. I'm not a big fan of inverted, but Billy very much is so, and I like to make fun of him every time for it.
I'm a little crazy, and I have to do up is down and down is up.
However your brain works, as long as you can make it work. As long as you can make it work for however your brain works. There you go.
Exactly. But we can actually have explore map options. Where right now we have a level 0, and then if we hit the down.
Yeah, I had a question. I saw that when I logged in my early access. I was like, "What's level 0?"
So right now, what we have is we have 5 maps that you can actually explore. We are actually working on 2 more. One of them is actually a really good thing that we really are happy about that we want to implement. But again, we had an issue with the update today. But the way this is set up right now is you can actually jump in, run around the maps, and actually see what each of the maps are. So it gives you kind of the opportunity to kind of explore and get used to the maps. There is no auto aim in this game, so it is all based on skill. So you have to either get good with a controller or get good with your mouse and keyboard in order to actually play the game. But each of these maps actually have a name. We're not revealing any of the names right now, but eventually those will change from level 0, level 1, level 2 to actually represent the names of each of the maps. Also, all of the maps you will actually be able to access once we do launch the Battle Royale mode, because each of the maps take place within the same environment of the actual Battle Royale. So it'll be really cool to kind of go into everything. The way we kind of have it set up is we will do seasons. And actually one of the ideas we had. Obviously, a lot of battle royales are going down the route of battle pass, and we actually had this idea, and we heard that Halo announced it today that they were doing the same thing. That they've been doing it for the Master Chief Collection for a while, but we will have a never-ending battle pass. So essentially, when you buy the battle pass, you will be able to go back each season and still get the stuff from the previous season that you didn't unlock. So it will give you the ability to continue to unlock the items that you're really passionate about or you really wanted. Plus, you will have the opportunity to actually unlock items in any order you want. So that's one of the things that we wanted to make sure that this game offered was something where it's like, you don't have to worry about, oh, well, the next season came out and I never got the thing that was in tier 94.
That's happened so many times.
Exactly.
I'm a perfectionist sometimes when it comes to games, depending on the game. And I've literally, you start the thing and you're missing one thing. And every time you go back, it's always gone. You can never get it. And it just makes you have that feeling.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
All of our battle pass will consist of cosmetic items. So we won't have any kind of double XP or anything like that. We want everybody to have kind of the same atmosphere for playing, as far as the same kind of equality when it comes to what they're doing and stuff, depending on whichever game mode you're playing.
An even playing field.
Right, and it's all gonna, like you said, it's going to be cosmetic, so there's not going to be any skill advantage if you decide you want to pay for it, or if you don't feel like dropping money in it. It'll just change everything visually. It's not going to be. It's not pay to win. It's not pay to have extra fancy guns.
I like it. So let's show people here. Anyone who wants a free early access right now. So all the people watching us on Checkpoint XP Twitch channel, if you want free access to this right now, I am giving away keys. All you got to do is put in the chat, I want it. All right.
So right now, as you can see, we're looking at the server. So we went to join game. I have the second server actually turned off right now. But first server's up. And one of the coolest things that we're very proud of with our servers, it has an auto name generation for servers. So the servers, whenever we change what map's playing or anything like that, it'll actually change the name of server. So right now, we're going to go ahead and join Hot White Space. And Andreas is going to go ahead and jump in with our 8 other people that are playing right now.
For the show, we are going to use controller. We have the controller compatibility working on right now. I'm primarily a PC gamer, so we're going to have to see how this goes.
And it crashed. So we're going to have to relaunch the game.
It's okay. This happened. This is live. You can tell, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. This is a live show. Okay? We are actually live. All kinds of things go wrong in a live setting. As soon as we get it up and rolling again, we'll get up in there. But
also, when we get in game, we may have to change it from inverted Steam.
That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. I wanted to touch on a previous guest that we had here and their card game, ORIONS SPUR. You actually had a good, sweet little announcement with them during your presentation, E3. And why don't you get into it? Because some of the people here that on our show know the ORIONS SPUR project, and we kind of didn't make it.
We have a good relationship with Peter Popart and Hero Initiative, and we approached them about taking their card game, which a lot of us here at Studio, we've had the opportunity to actually play, and we actually got to experience it. And we brought the option of basically doing a actual video game for them. So they liked the idea, so we sat down, we discussed all the terms and everything, discussed the details on how we wanted to approach this, how we wanted to do this and everything. And the coolest thing about it is we're going to make it happen. And it's something that
I'm so excited. So for anybody who doesn't know what ORIONS SPUR is, it's a ship-to-ship battle card game, kind of like in Star Trek, Star Wars, capital ships versus capital ships. So if you're a sci-fi geek like I am, I mean, it was a good time. Tarek, are you excited? Me and you kind of played a little bit.
So here we go.
That Doomsday played it. I defeated you.
Yes, you did defeat me. Yes. The rules were in your favor, or the deck was in your favor that day. That's what happened.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I did very much enjoy that game.
I sense a challenge.
Yeah.
Right,
you're gonna like it, Rich. You're gonna like it. So let's show everyone last shot. Let's get it here. All right, look at this.
So you're watching Andreas now. He's actually playing through Last Shot. He's actually in one of our indoor environments here.
Okay.
You can kind of see all the different, we have animations on the fans above and everything. He's actually on the blue team.
Yep.
So the blue team and the red team right now, they're both at 0-0. But I hear some combat going. Looks like it's off to the left.
Yeah.
So he is playing on controller, and this is new for him because he is keyboard and mouse. Oh, we got people way
up,
back.
people up in the spawn.
I keep juking. So I see he's not L1ing here. He's not looking down the barrel. So this is kind of like in the vein of like that Unreal feel, that Valorant feel, that kind of run and
we
gun.
don't have aim down the sights or anything.
Mhm.
We're paying homage to the old school. So
Right.
if you remember how Halo used to be, or even Unreal Tournament and stuff, they didn't allow you to actually like look down the barrel and stuff.
No.
Basically, you're relying on skill. Like this is something where we want people to like. There's no crouch. There's no prone. It's all just run and gun, fast paced. You do have a sprint. As you can see, both his gun has 2 fires. He has a fully automatic fire, which you can actually tap the trigger and actually burst fire it, which makes it a little bit more accurate. He also has a secondary fire where he launches this giant plasma bomb.
I like that.
And Andreas, why don't you go into third person and show them what third person looks like?
Oh yeah, I forgot that you got that view, third person view.
Push Y.
Oh, so you're able to choose between first and third?
Yep.
Exactly. So it allows you to actually play in whichever version you want to play. So if you want to play in third person, you can jump in third person. If you want to play in first person, you can do that as well, all with a simple press of a button.
Right.
So on the keyboard and mouse, you actually hit C and it changes the character perspective. On a controller, you hit Y. We are working on controls for the PlayStation controllers. Right now, unfortunately, all we have right now that's in working capabilities is the Xbox controllers. You can go ahead and switch back if you play better first.
We got
I did. I had a cheapo PC controller, and it actually was working for me when I was running around the map. So
now you were talking before about the difference between mouse and keyboard and controller. Is it cross-play where you're playing against whoever, or are controllers stuck with controllers and mouse and keyboard stuck with mouse and keyboard?
It is fully cross-play, and it's all about skill. So it's like if you're really skilled with a controller, you're going to be able to take somebody with a mouse and keyboard. As you can see, you also have ability to do rocket jumps, which is something that both characters have. They're, like I said, he's playing as Proxy right now. We have some people on the team who are playing as Artie. Unfortunately, right now we do not have any kind of character select, so it is kind of random. Although outside of deathmatch, you are able to actually change your character when you are playing Assault.
I got 1 HP, but I'm not scared.
So if you notice, there's a little blue ring that's to the side of him. Right now, all of the objectives for Assault are still in the map. We haven't programmed them out when you're not playing Assault. So that blue ring there, basically, if you're playing Assault, if you're inside the actual blue ring that you're capturing, you can actually change your character on the fly. So not only can you change between first and third person, but you can change to each of the other characters as well. We will have, in the arena-style gameplay, we will have the ability to actually change and pick what character you're going to start as. But in objective, we kind of like the ability of where it's kind of random, but then you have the option to change mid-game.
The blue team is smashing these people right now.
I'm not necessarily helping with that, but
yeah, blue team is destroying people.
If you like what you're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this, we got 19 viewers right now. Wow, at least on the Twitch channel. I know there's hundreds and hundreds more on E3. But if you want a copy, you want early access to this, I'm giving away Steam keys right now. Just say I want it in the chat. If you're watching this on the E3 platform, run right now to Checkpoint XP, to twitch.tv/Checkpoint XP, and just type in I want it real quick in the chat, and I'll whisper you a code, okay? By all means, feel free to do that. And tell us more. Tell us more about I mean, how long does it take to from conception to what you is this your first beta or first?
So these servers have been live for about a month now, but we just started giving out the keys to everybody. The servers will remain live, so you'll be able to play through the entire development of Last Shot. We ask that if you do join us on the servers and you do join in with the games and stuff, We do ask that you join our Discord so that way you can keep up to date with what we change as far as each build that comes out. So one of the things that I can actually go ahead and announce is with the newer build that we tried to get out today, but we have to go back and fix, it actually ups the player count. So player count right now is basically each server supports 16 players. Now, once we do the update and we fix the things that we have to fix to get it updated later today, it will actually support 32 players. So each map will actually support up to 32 players, allowing more people to be able to play. So we can get some really big team games going or stay with some small team games. So it really just depends on the people who are playing. One of the things that if you saw, there's a little emoji that comes up when you kill somebody too, which is actually the logo for Last Shot. Man, blue team.
Red team needs some help.
Red team needs help.
Red team needs some help.
I should have brought my PC.
Red team needs some help.
I'm gonna have to get on there and help the red team out. I feel bad.
I got a code for you, Rich. Don't worry.
Someone from chat, please, for the love of God, help out Red Team.
So one of the things that we're most proud of about this game is we literally put this together and got it fully playable with 16 players per map in literally 3 weeks. This was done in 3 weeks. Everything you see here was literally 3 weeks of work, and then everything you saw for E3 was like a month of just trying to figure things out and make sure we had stuff ready.
And make it look tight and pretty, right?
So you said that you're getting ready to do 32 in a room. How big is it going to be when the Battle Royale actually is dropped?
So one of the things that we have to do, and one of the things that we're hoping we can get, one of the reasons why we're actually handing out keys and stuff, is we're actually trying to test our servers. So we have actually 2 servers. One runs Assault and the other runs Deathmatch. And between the 2 servers, so far, we have yet to run into any kind of server lag, any kind of issues.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, knock on wood. Exactly. Wood table. But we have yet to have any issues and stuff. We do notice sometimes that the ping will change, so the ping will be very high. So, like, if you look up in the left-hand corner of the top left-hand corner, you can see 2 things there. Your FPS, which right now at full, basically full combat where Andreas is, it's bouncing around between 30 frames a second up to 60. And the game runs pretty smooth on 60 frames at certain times. This is a bigger game than we've had in the past. Usually we've only had maybe 5 or 6 people actually on the server at a time. Right now it looks like, what are we running, 10?
Yeah, it's like
is that 5 and 5? Yeah.
Also, this is 10. of the maps that we have and are going out, this is kind of a little bit on the larger side of maps. So this is definitely having more going on overall.
But that other number there that says RTT is actually our ping. So that's the ping to the server. So right now we're running roughly
you better get him.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the frames. You're getting a little bit of slowdown really sometimes.
You can't see any lag, so it's it's running pretty smooth. But we have noticed that sometimes, even kind of dependent on the map and what the map's resources are. So this is actually, to be honest, one of our most detailed maps that we have.
Nice.
But there's a lot with it that other maps don't have. That it's just like other maps, for instance, have a much larger fog amount and stuff. And sometimes that ping will actually raise due to what's being required from the server to actually output. But it runs smooth. I don't think as much as I love AWOKEN, I know that we're still doing a lot of work on it and stuff, but eventually it'll run this smooth as it relates to what we can do with the things that we have.
And even this game for the future, we're definitely planning on getting things a little bit more optimized, so things working with, because we have so much more to add. Exactly. So it's hard to fully optimize everything and then add a bunch more stuff and then fully optimize. We're trying to get everything to a good point, then go for the full optimization and get that all working and getting everything smooth.
And if we built this in 3 weeks, imagine what we can do after a year.
Exactly.
You already have players playing, so you have test subjects already. You know what I'm saying? You have real gameplay data. And
I remember for 2 weeks we were struggling a little bit, to be completely honest with you, with getting the networking connectivity going. We had it where we were able to have it in house. Right. Where we were able to actually get the game and have play LAN and everything like that. We were really happy because we were able to test a lot of the stuff that way. But as soon as we got network working, we had a big like overall party online and played for a few hours. It was so much fun.
And one of the cool things too is as you see all these people on this map and they're all playing, actually out of our studio right now with us. So we're at a table and literally right across from us is one of our people actually playing on a computer there. And then we have somebody in another room who's actually playing on their laptop over Wi-Fi. We're playing through LAN, and the person across from us is playing through wired networking as well. Whereas the other person's on Wi-Fi, and literally like it's as smooth as it is here from what you're seeing as it is for them as well. And they're playing on machines that are very similar to what we're playing on. So we are playing on the Ryzen 9. We were running on a 2070 as it relates to what we were on. The one across from us is actually playing on a Ryzen 9 with a 1080, and then the one on the laptop is actually playing on a 3060. So it's really cool to see this game actually function on multiple different types of machines. And this game will run on a machine that's 8 years old. We've actually tested it here in the studio. We have a machine that's very old that we tested on, but it was running on a 4th generation i7 and a GTX 835, which is like a custom NVIDIA processor for the machine that it is. And it was running just as smooth as you're seeing now. So we built a game that will work on multiple different types of machines as far as performance. And we actually are working right now to get it updated to work on a Mac. So that way we can actually have Apple compatibilities as well and see how the server reacts to having cross-platform. Because right now it's only on PC, but we plan to do a lot more with it as far as the other platforms go. But we have had some help from some of our partners to basically implement some of the SDKs for
Red Team's getting smashed
for Xbox and stuff, to basically allow it to have full support for crossplay. So we are excited for this.
Excellent. So would you say the transition to get it on Xbox will be faster?
It'll be a little bit faster. Same with PlayStation and Nintendo Switch. It's just basically working out the controls. So right now we do have partial controller support. The one thing the controller doesn't work with right now is the menu. That's something that we're still working on. One of the you guys may have saw.
Oh, the background kind of disappeared. Yeah. The little frame rate.
But so we have to get full controller support before we can actually start implementing it into the consoles, because not everybody's going to have a keyboard and mouse set hooked up and a controller to their home consoles to play on the TV. But once we do have full controller support, we'll be able to actually start implementing it into the consoles and just kind of seeing exactly what this cross-platform capability can do as far as our networking solution.
Jump down, I dare you.
He's lurking now.
Are you teabagging? That's disrespectful.
He's teabagging the whole mountain.
I'm waiting for them to jump down so I can
team the whole mountain. It's like
anyone,
anyone from the mountain just jump down. Oh man, this is excellent, man. I mean, just looking at it, wow, I want to start playing. I'm gonna play some tonight. I'm gonna stream some tonight.
Well, just make sure you're not on the red team, because they are.
Well, it's okay.
Or he could be the red team savior.
Yeah,
you could.
Later on, we're actually going to have one of our streamers going to be actually playing. So we're going to have a little bit of a LAN thing, and then everyone that has keys, you're more than welcome to join us later on. We will probably have things updated, but if not, we'll just go ahead and just play like we are right now, to go ahead and just so everyone is able to go ahead and experience. And I just got wrecked. I don't know where that came from.
I'm taking notes right now, Andre. I'm gonna be on the red team, and I'm coming for you.
If you are watching this and you want, if you're watching this and you want,
keyboard, come at me.
If you're watching this, ladies and gentlemen, and you want access right now to Last Shot, I am giving away Steam keys thanks to the generosity of Devious Eye Entertainment. All you got to do is type in the chat, "I want it," and we will give you a Steam key so you can have access and you can play this game right away if you have a PC.
Yeah, one of the cool things too is if you happen to be local in Florida and you possibly might be going to a certain event, Andrea, what do we got planned for an event? What event are we going to bring Last Shot to in person?
Well, I'm so glad you asked me, Billy. So in August,
what a segue!
What a segue! Segue.
The lead.
As a segue, ladies and gentlemen.
In August, we are attending what is called Fanboy Expo. And we will be bringing Last Shot there, as well as some other surprises, some of the other projects that we are working on. But you'll be able to play Last Shot at that convention as well.
Yeah, you will actually be able to play Last Shot at the booth with us while we have some of our team online playing with.
Oh, nice. Nice. I like it.
That'll be a lot of fun.
It's going to be fun.
You could best us. We'll be there.
We might even be
All
giving
right,
away
let's
prizes.
see. You see, you might get some Steam keys there. Let's also, Billy, let's let a little cat out of the bag. I already invited you, and I haven't quite promoted it yet because the powers that be have not let me promote it, but I don't care at this point. Also, a local event, Tampa Bay Comic Con. We have a panel, 7:30 p.m. on a Saturday for that weekend, that last weekend in August, and I already invited you already. I haven't quite figured out what we're gonna do yet, but I think Last Shot might be it.
We will be there, and we are totally down to bring Last Shot if people want to have some fun with Last Shot there.
Yeah, I think that might be it. What do you think, Tarek?
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on myself.
We got some time to train.
Yeah.
We all need to.
Should we do a Devious Eye Entertainment versus Checkpoint XP?
Oh, let's do it. Let's go.
Let me take that back because they're gonna smack us. They made this game.
I got an 8-year-old computer, so I want to see it on the 8-year-old computer that I have.
Oh my.
Well, my computer's old too, but it was running it. I
No,
just got to
I'm
take
not
out.
taking it back. I challenge Devious.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're scaring me, Rich. Oh my
We're
god.
gonna be red team.
Oh my goodness.
I'm taking red team under my wing.
Let's go, Rich. I'm gonna shoot you that key today as soon as the
You
show's
gotta
over.
get me that key.
We
I
got
got you that key.
Panzer over here. It's kind of like a company dog. He's moving everything.
Just know,
Wow.
I'm gonna be coming out there like Katniss Everdeen.
There's while I leave. Go ahead.
We will go ahead and say too that with Last Shot, one of the things that we're going to be doing is the characters will have some really cool and corny one-liners, and we are looking for voice actors. So if you're interested in being a voice actor for one of our characters, like we're totally down to start having people sign up for that because
I think
Do you have a specific feel you want?
characters. So
I think you got 4 people already right here.
Oh yeah.
I would just like to be the motivational voice of the red team.
Do it!
Or
You
no,
know what? I think they hear me. They're coming back a little bit.
no, you have one-liners for the teams that's winning and one-liners for the team that's losing. You know, like come on, get in the game. You know, things like that.
Mine would be you guys are
Remember,
looking
we
real
also have
trash right
the
now.
2 announcers that are probably going to be egging you on the whole time.
Go ahead, say that
I
again,
want to be
Terry.
the good guy. I want to be like finish. Or like, what a loser.
Wow.
We have a bunch of ideas for characters and getting them implemented. Right now we mentioned 3, but we do have more coming in the future. We can't really say much more than that because they are still, essentially being created. But we do have plans of getting more people, more abilities and stuff like that, like Billy mentioned with our other game modes and stuff going at it. We are going to have constant updates on our Discord channel. So if you ever want to keep updated with everything that's going on, that would be the best place to go. But we're also going to have, updates and promotions on all our social medias.
Nice.
Excellent.
What
So
are your
let's talk
social
about.
medias so that people could actually follow you?
Yeah, please.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I was,
Our social, we do have a few different social medias. We are on Instagram as well as Facebook, Twitter. On Facebook, we are Devious Entertainment. If you search us on there, we'll pop up. We're
Go
on
down in the
Twitch,
tunnels. So they can see the tunnels.
twitch.tv/Devious Entertainment. And then actually there's a link on our Twitch page to get into our Discord server if you want to do that. We also have, within our Discord, we do have updates for all of our, like for AWOKEN, we have updates for Last Shot. And then we have just a general chat if you just want to talk to the developers. And most of the company is in our Discord, so you can talk to different developers, different roles in the company, just to hang out with us and then get a game of Last Shot going.
I don't want to go down that tunnel. I'd rather just rock it up.
Let's talk about the last game that we wanted to talk about. Is actually, I believe this one is your fantasy one, right, Billy?
It is one of them. So the last one that actually, to our surprise, to be completely honest, it was a huge hit for E3 was ARCHEAN.
Arcane, yes.
Archaean is a really interesting game that, in all honesty, everything that myself and Andrea did with it, we put together in 3 days.
3 days is a good
Wow.
number to make your games. 3 days,
So-
3
Oh my
weeks.
goodness.
So like I said at the beginning is well, to kind of touch base on that real quick. So me and Andrea do a lot when it comes to the games, and we do a lot in our spare time as well when it comes to the games. When other people are kind of like, I don't know, sleeping or having dinner with their families or things like that.
Right.
Who
Me
does
and
that?
Andrea, sometimes
Who does that?
we sit here and we continue to work on stuff and really crunch things out. And it's part of why we have a kind of an unconventional development cycle as it relates to all of our games. But Archaean we put together in 3 days, and before we actually put it together, the idea for it just kind of came to me one day at 5 o'clock in the morning. And not only did the idea for that come to me, but the idea to actually launch, as I said at the beginning, we have a couple subsidiary companies, but we actually launched our second subsidiary company, which is another game development company, which is called Dreamfire Games, which I am actually the studio head of. So it's kind of like my pet project company
Right.
under Devious umbrella. And our first game that we're going to release from that is Archaean. And
Nice.
the thing about Archaean is it's kind of a really cool RPG. It's going to be set in a nice little fantasy world. You're going to get to play as Sai, who is the female character from our trailer that people got to see at the end of our broadcast. And the story is really going to be very rich with emotion and just other things that are basically resemblant to a fantasy world. It's not my Lord of the Rings. My Lord of the Rings is a different game that will be coming at a later date, but it's almost there. But
Okay.
Sai pretty much hails from a Viking village that gets attacked, and basically you go on an adventure to basically avenge your village and also find your long lost lover. And as you go through your adventure, you'll learn spells and you'll learn new abilities and stuff. But one of the things that I kind of wanted to do with Archaean, kind of for this guy here, is the gameplay will be very much like a Dark Souls game. So you're going to play this very artistically rich game where the combat and the systems and just the difficulty is going to be very much like Dark Souls or Bloodborne. So it's going to be something where it is very challenging and it's going to require skill to actually be able to master. And then one of the cool things that we have in store for it is as you learn spells, you'll be able to master those spells. So you'll be able to actually upgrade your spells and everything to make them more powerful as you continue down the road of your adventure. So we're very proud of it. And like I said, it kind of took us by surprise that it became one of the most popular things we brought to E3 this year. So we're very proud of it, and we plan to do a lot more with it.
I'm excited. I'm excited for all your projects, guys. Especially
We're excited for a lot of our
Gotcha.
projects. A lot of the dynamic, I got him.
You did.
A
He
lot of
knocked
the
that guy
dynamic of essentially goes on here is DVSI in general, we're very open to ideas and going along with it. Like they said, they built a game in 3 days. Billy likes to build the world while Andrea makes them work. That's what Billy likes to say a lot of the times. And the rest of us here, whether that be other developers, like for example, our game that we showed within our E3 booth, like Pseudo Dragons, where one of our developers, Devlin, that's his baby essentially, where he's creating and doing that, where we're here to support him and everything on that aspect. Or a lot of our other games, like Billy's mentioned, where he has some other games in the work, like his Lord of the Rings game, or his Lord of the Rings, not Lord of the Rings.
It's my
Lord of the Rings
game.
light game.
His magnum
Lord of the
opus.
Rings light game.
magnum opus.
I need his Odyssey.
It's a
Yeah.
game that I definitely will bring and show you guys as something I'm very excited for. I've actually been working on it since I was 16 years old. I'm 33 now. And
Oh my
it's
goodness.
just something that it's my baby, and it's something that I'm very proud of. And I can't wait to be able to show it to people. But I can tell you, you can expect the same type of graphical quality as Doomsday when it comes to this game. Like,
Nice.
it is something that is going to be breathtaking.
There's definitely, there's some teaser images that you put in the actual E3 presentation. That's on your guys' Twitch channel. So go ahead and drop that for everyone that's watching right now on Checkpoint XP and also on the E3 Spear.
Twitch.tv/DVSI Entertainment. Where all of our streams and everything that were happening for E3, alongside with the E3 page, you'll be able to see a lot of the gameplay, everything that we've shown, our Just Press Start showcase, everything that we've shown basically throughout this entire week, and for our shows going on later on this week as well.
Yeah, in addition to that, on our E3 booth, for each of those projects, they also have the screenshots as well as the general game description as well. So definitely go check it out if you want. It's kind of more of an in-depth look at each individual title.
This is excellent, guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show here. And I don't know if we're on overtime on the actual E3 page or not. But
No, they don't have an overtime.
okay, cool.
We can run as late as you want.
We did have one more thing to mention going along with our game.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kickstarter.
So if you do like what you are seeing here with Last Shot, along with the keys that we're giving out, one of the things that we wanted to do is actually bring it to Kickstarter. So that way, if you don't happen to win a key today, or if you just want to stay up to date with all of our development that is going to be happening, and just to help us make it a bigger and better game, go check out our Kickstarter. It is not live yet, but it will be live shortly within the next coming weeks. So definitely keep an eye out. And again, you can join us on Discord, follow us on all of our social medias. We will be posting as soon as that does go live. So that way we can kind of help involve you guys as well.
Excellent. So I want to let my co-hosts go unless they want to stick around a little longer. Rich, what do you think about all the stuff that Devious Entertainment is bringing?
I'm loving it, man. One thing that sticks out to me, I talked about it a little bit earlier. I'm a huge fan of Battle Royale games. It's just the overall competitiveness of it. And just the fact that these guys are developing this game to become a Battle Royale is exciting to me because I want to see Andres in the lobby. I'm just saying. I'm ready to see this guy in the lobby.
Bro, you're going to see me on that death screen. I don't know what you're talking about.
So we will give a little bit of a tease real quick. We will give it a little bit of a tease. So as you can notice, this level kind of looks kind of like a desert planet. That's basically what you can expect for the first Battle Royale map. So if Andreas looks out across the abyss, that's actually the Battle Royale map. All down there. So that's what you can expect for the Battle Royale map that we will be basically doing.
I'll jump down here real quick. And
oh, you're going to show off the ragdoll?
Yeah.
There you go. But the Battle Royale map will be across the desert planet that you are on here. And then to kind of tease it, our Season 2 will be Oriental themed. So we have some really cool, exciting plans for that. But obviously, we got to get the game finished and get it out there first and everything. But you will be able to expect very cool ideas for our season passes. Andrea, what's a really cool idea we're going to have for one of our upcoming seasons when we do launch this game?
Make something up. Go ahead.
We're going to have pirates. It's going to be pirate themes, which is one I'm looking forward to.
Me too.
I already have some designs in mind that I have drawn out.
I'm a huge fan of pirates.
Honestly, we all are.
So we will have skins for our characters where they will look like they're from the swashbuckling days.
We just plan to have a lot of fun with this going on to the future and making sure that everyone that's playing it is having a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, because that is the big emphasis on this, is that we want it to be silly. We want it to be fun. We want people to just jump in and enjoy playing.
And then we want you all to come and attack Andreas. Come on.
Yes.
Just like whoever that was, Pandamental. I see you over there.
Andreas, just know me and Tarek are going to start training soon.
I'm running it tonight. I'm going to connect. What time you guys are playing tonight?
Actually, I don't know what time it is now.
Actually, you know what? Honestly, what time do you want to play? We'll get on just to play with you.
Oh, goodness. I don't know. I need some time to get home. I think around 9-ish or so.
Well, we actually have one of our streamers that is either, I'm not sure if they're live now, but they're going to go live after this. Going to be playing at least for, I believe, a couple hours here or there. So they're going to have them, and then we're going to have some of us hop on here if we're not busy doing some other things, just to hang out and play and have some fun.
Yeah,
and that's going to be on your Twitch channel, Devious Entertainment?
Yep.
Right.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
So if you guys want to play against them guys.
Yeah. Man, we got a bunch of viewers right now on Checkpoint XP's Twitch channel. If you guys want access right now to Last Shot, I have free keys for you. Go ahead and type in the chat. Type a 1 in the chat. Type I want it in the chat, or just put a number 1, and I'll send you a Steam key. I was gonna say stream. So I'm thinking about streaming, but a Steam key.
That is so unfair. 4 on 2.
So out of everybody in Devious Eye, who's the best player at last shot?
Oh, don't be starting this
I am.
argument.
Oh.
Let's go. Let's
Oh, you're
go.
the best player?
I
Go
am.
ahead.
All right. Let me see that controller. All right.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, Beers and Play is gonna stream. He's gonna stream the game.
She's about to show you how to do this, Andreas.
Oh!
I've been playing since I've been 3.
Go
Get
get on
out
the
of
other
here.
computer.
I'm gonna shoot you a key right now, Rich. Okay.
Gotcha. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll show you a key right now.
I'm
Hold
a
on,
little
I'm
bit
gonna
of
have
many.
it
I have
here.
Jedi Roxy, Swim Shady. I'm
Arching guy through on everything.
Look. Oh, what is this?
It is a dark corridor.
It is.
Do it.
Come on, let's see them skills.
Yeah.
Come on.
Look, I got
Andreas would have had 3 kills by now.
I know.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Rich, do I got you on
Yes, no one to kill.
You should have my
Facebook?
Alrighty.
yeah.
You're coming down now.
There we go.
You got 1 to your
Oh,
left.
There she
Teammate
goes.
saved you.
I got him. I didn't
You
get him.
did it.
Your teammate got him.
I definitely did not get.
I think
Well, yeah, this is last shot. We're gonna have a lot more going on. We have a bunch of other games, Awoken, Pseudo Dragons, Doomsday. Like we mentioned, we're gonna have all these updates and things, keeping you guys in touch with everything that's going on. If you have any questions or anything like that, or for anyone that's in chat, anyone that wants to join the Discord, we are actively active, so we'll be able to answer your questions, and we love feedback as well.
No, I'm
Excellent,
loving
excellent.
it, guys. The game looks good. She might be a little bit better than you. I don't know.
We're fighting words.
We can set up a server 1-on-1.
Yeah, what about that? Is there a one-on-one game mode?
Look at this.
Well, so once the game is finished and everything, you will have the ability to actually, if you want to host the game, you'll have the ability to actually host different games within the arena or even in the objectives. So that way, if you wanted to host a game where it's just 1-on-1, or if you wanted to play 2s or something, you'll have that ability to actually go out and do that. It'll be accustomed to smaller maps. We have different sized maps throughout the entirety of what we have. If you have a key, by all means, go and explore, and you'll see some of the maps are very, very large, whereas some of the maps are very small. And it's just meant to kind of accommodate those types of game modes.
Gotcha.
One of my favorite maps.
Andrew, you're lost.
I can't see. I'm blind in the hallway.
One of my favorite maps
Rocket
is actually one of the smaller maps.
Can you rocket jump?
Because it
Yeah.
looks like it's almost like a depot, but it's pretty cool. And then it has this pit in the
Hold
middle
on.
of it.
Andrea, I had my faith in you.
Don't worry, I lost the faith for both of us.
Oh man, you just got demoted to red team.
You didn't
Except
make
I
it.
didn't-
Beers
There
and
was
Play
a
is gonna
conversation
stream.
beforehand, a small discussion on who would be actually playing. I said me. No one else said anything. So
Don't worry, I got this dexterity. You see
It's
this
okay
staircase?
with Andrea playing. Red team's catching up.
Wow.
Wow. The
Billy, we're gonna
slander.
1v1 after this.
Oh.
It's going down, ladies and gentlemen. It's going down.
Who's the
Going
better Andrea?
I will
With
be
the
honest.
S
If you look
or
on the
one
screen, one of the
without?
things that we're most proud of is our health indicator.
Oh,
That-
sit down, son!
Oh! I didn't see
Wow.
Andreas do that.
Faith has been restored.
that's her catchphrase. She'll say that a lot.
But we're very proud of our health indicator because it's the heart rate monitor.
You're talking about that at the bottom right, correct?
Yeah.
That's right.
Change when you're low HP, it turns red. Goes from green
It's
to red.
like a yellow
green to
now.
red.
It's almost like fully yellow.
You can see in the bottom right the gun, the weapon that you're using, the amount of ammo that you have, the cooldown on your actual. When you're on mouse and keyboard, it's right click. When you're on controller, it's the L2 or left trigger for Xbox. So or that way you'll be able to go ahead and have an indication as when you're able to go ahead and use that. Otherwise, you'd just be able to spam those and knock everyone all over the place.
So I'm just noticing this now. So if you're on the blue team, you're one character, and then the robots are the red team.
No, so right now it's random.
Random.
So
Gotcha.
as they're running through this and everything, sometimes it will try to orient the game to be where it's one side versus one side, but it's actually completely random. So you could actually spawn into a game and end up being the robot, or you can spawn in and be the terraformer, which is proxy. But as it relates to everything else that's going on, it's basically like when you play Assault, you'll be able to switch your characters. When you're not playing Assault, you don't have the ability to actually switch characters.
Panda Mental in the chat said it is not Andrea.
Yeah, she's the other one in the studio that's over there.
Oh no.
And if you do happen to have a favorite character in the future, there is going to be a little bit of background and stuff for all our characters that we have fun writing.
The very first time you can learn the backgrounds of Proxy and Artie will be at Fanboy Expo.
Nice.
Cool.
Meet some of the voice actors, see what goes on. It's gonna be a fun time.
Excellent, guys. I think we're gonna sign off for now, man. Thank you so much for bringing the game to us, and let everyone know how they can follow Devious Eye Entertainment.
So we have our website, deviouseye.com, Devious Eye Entertainment, or twitch.tv, Devious Eye Entertainment for all of our streams and everything we go. Devious Eye Entertainment, YouTube, Twitter, Discord, Facebook. We recently had our Reddit page go up. We have basically a lot of our main social media pages and everything like that. You'll be able to go ahead and see us.
Excellent. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Billy, I love everything you're working on, brother. And much success to you. I'll see you in Last Shot. There you go.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for joining us for E3.
No problem. Thank you so much for the invite. Thank you so much for having us. And we're going to be working on bigger and better things always.
And we're going to talk. You guys are going to be voice actors for this.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know.
And you guys are going to see that I'm the better Last Shot player.
Andreas, challengers.
All right, signing off from E3 2021 and Checkpoint XP's Twitch channel. This is Geek Culture Congress. Make sure you follow us, Geek Culture Congress. That's 3 words on Instagram. Separate the 3 words for Facebook, and give us a like on our Facebook page. And also listen to the podcast version of this show. It's a podcast, so you just tell your smart speaker, "Hey, Alexa, play Geek Culture Congress podcast," and she'll do it, okay? Or you could just follow us on wherever you listen to your podcast. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We are live every Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Checkpoint XP's Twitch channel. And then, of course, the audio version of it goes up on the podcast. So we talk everything as our MCU, DC, comic books, video games. We talk it all on this show. So thank you so much to everyone from Devious Eye Entertainment. Thank you, guys. You guys have a good one.
You as well. Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Thanks, guys. Andreas, I'll see you in the lobby.
I'll see you when I get you. I'm coming for you.
I'm coming.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a good one. Be safe.
Guys, thank you.
Thanks, guys. You guys were awesome. Thank you for everything.
Yes.